to Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, where today Fox Sports Net brings you the ARCA Remax Series and the Pocono ARCA 200. A rainy morning, but the clouds have cleared, and now we're clear for what promises to be some exciting racing. You'll see talented young drivers like Jason Jarrett, Dale's son, who's coming off a victory and a pole win in the last couple of weeks. And then there's some wily veterans like ARCA points leader Frank Kimmel, Tim Steele, who's won more ARCA speedway races than anybody. It is ARCA Racing right here on Fox Sports Net. Hello, anybody. I'm Chris Myers, coming to you from our mobile studio, the Hollywood Hotel at Pocono Raceway, just above the longest strip in all of NASCAR. Speaking of NASCAR, coming up later on FX, you'll see the final tune-up for the Winston Cup race tomorrow that you'll see on Fox from Pocono. But now, this is not a NASCAR event, but as I mentioned, some of the top young up-and-coming drivers could wind up in the Winston Cup Series in the near future. Some of those that you'll see here. One of those drivers, Stuart Kirby, who's being called by some as maybe the next Jeff Gordon, which is a lot of praise to throw on anybody. He's on the pole today and has 3 top 5 finishes in just 4 career starts. He and a field of 35 drivers will have to contend with this unique triangle-shaped track that chews up transmissions. Let's go up to the booth. Guys will be calling the activity. Larry McReynolds and Steve Burns. Gentlemen.
All right, thanks very much, Chris. Now, Larry, here we come to a racetrack so demanding, so difficult to drive, and we have a 20-year-old on the pole, Stuart Kirby.
A 20-year-old that never has seen this racetrack until he walked through the gate on Thursday morning. 20 years old, but he's got a lot of knowledge there working with him. Bob Shack, his crew chief, owner of that race car, he won here 6 times, but it is a challenging racetrack. Handling, aerodynamics, strategy, 80 laps. These guys telling me they can run anywhere from 35 to 40 laps on fuel, so that could be a factor today. But Stuart Kirby, he was fast in practice from the minute they unloaded on Thursday.
Now, Stuart Kirby said he weighs maybe 125 pounds, but nobody's picking on him because in those race cars, everybody weighs the same.
And he finished 3rd at Michigan last week, and they wasn't sure they was even going to come here. He told me last week at Michigan, if we finish in the top 2, we may have enough to go to Pocono. Well, they finished 3rd. Dad said, okay, we're going to go. So here they are, new track record by 2 miles an hour.
Let's check in now, Larry, with Dick Berggren. Dick?
And I'm with Stuart Kirby. This kid, only 20 years old, but what a career he has had in ARCA in 4 starts. 2nd, 3rd, and 5th so far. Bob Shack handling the wrenches. Great confidence in this kid. Shack has won here 6 times. This could be a big upset. This 20-year-old from Bowling Green, Kentucky could be the rookie that upsets everybody. Let's go up to Steve.
All right, thanks a lot, Dick. You know, Larry, we have an interesting combination of youth and experience in this field today.
Yes, we do. Again, Stuart Kirby. We have Jason Jarrett as far as youth. But they're Billy Venturini Jr. You know, his dad won here many times. He's in the field as well. But it is a unique racetrack. 3 distinct different lengths of straightaways, 3 distinct different types of configuration of corners. Very challenging racetrack.
Larry, Frank Kimmel is the points leader. We'll talk about him. He's had some problems this last weekend and this weekend. We'll talk about Frank Kimmel in that 46. Tim Steele right behind him. Tim Steele's closing ground.
Yes, he is, and Tim Steele runs well here. Frank Kimmel having lots of engine trouble at Michigan last week and as well this week. He'll have to start at the rear of the field by virtue of an engine change.
All right, let's get down now to the track. We're about ready to get the command to fire the engines. And doing the honors is Cub Scout Pack 106.
Gentlemen, start your engines! Woo!
And that was one of the best commands we've had to start the race here. Cub Scout 106 doing a fine job. Engines have been lit.
That was a good job. I believe they even beat Terry Bradshaw's Daytona version of Start Your Engines.
Pretty close. Well, we're about set to go racing 80 laps here, 200 miles. You're watching the ARCA Remax Series on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to the Pocono International Raceway. We're about set for 80 laps, 200 miles of ARCA racing. Steve Burns, Larry McReynolds with you upstairs. Larry, these guys are feeling anxious. They're going to pull those belts tight.
Well, they are, and as you said, there's so much youth in this field, and a lot of Winston Cup car owners standing on top of these trucks in the Winston Cup garage watching these guys. They would love to have good runs here today. possibly looking toward the future of a Winston Cup ride.
Speaking of Winston Cup, we have a Winston Cup star with us. A special treat, Larry. It's Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy?
The man
Hey
that
guys,
never
thanks
forgets.
for having me on the air here today. This is awesome, man. We're at Pocono, my home track. And you know what's going to play havoc today? If you have a problem on the racetrack and you have to make a pit stop, look how long this pit road is. Longest one we race in Winston Cup and the ARCA guys. And remember, 45 mile an hour. And it's a tendency for the drivers, me being one of them, to try and squeeze all we can. So it's going to be a tough one if we have a problem with a flat tire, run out of gas, anything like that. Looking forward to it today, guys.
Jimmy, been watching you for the last couple of days, qualifying practice. Not looking like you'd like to have that race car, but you've always raced well here, and you've always been a role of playing some strategy. But what is going on with your Ford Taurus?
I'll tell you, the old Kmart car is not running as well as we want to. Donnie and I are just talking about it a little bit here. You know, we have happy hour coming up, so hopefully we can get a little bit better, Larry. But we have a problem with the push. It's a new tire this year. We haven't got it figured out. I think the sidewall construction is different than what we're used to. Some guys, obviously, Gordon's going good, and Ricky Rudd's going good. We're having a little push problem as we exit the corners, especially the tunnel turn, and we know that's a very critical part of the racetrack. So hopefully we can get it better here in a little bit.
Well, hopefully you can, and we're going to go back to Steve Burns here, and he'll give you the starting grid.
All right, what a special treat that is, Mr. Excitement in the broadcast team.
Yeah, and again, the man that never forgets.
And there it is, Stuart Kirby on row one, the 20-year-old rookie, his first pole, only his 5th race. We got some big names up there in the top 10.
Frank Kimmel, he'll be starting outside row 2. I mentioned a while ago, engine problems. Now, he will have to drop to the rear of the field. By ARCA rules, if you change an engine, it doesn't matter if it even has a problem, or you change it for not running, you have to drop to the rear of the field.
Saw Jason Jarrett, that is the son of former Winston Cup champion Dale Jarrett, as we look at rows 6 through 10. And Larry, as we said earlier, a great mixture of young, hungry drivers like Todd Bowser there, his brother, a former ARCA champion, with experienced guys like, hey, Norm Benning's been around for a long time.
He's been around for a long time. Didn't get a good qualifying effort. He told me that he broke a valve spring right before qualifying, had to change that, and didn't qualify near as good as he'd like to.
There you see the rear of the field, Belmont, Basham, Martin, Smith, and Todd Antragan. We're just about ready to drop the green flag on this race here in Pocono. 80 laps, 200 miles, coming at you right after this on Fox Sports Net. And welcome back to Pocono. It's a big weekend of racing. NASCAR Winston Cup practice on FX at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. And then it's followed by the Outback Steakhouse's 300 from Kentucky. The first time the Busch Series has ever been to that racetrack. Darrell Waltrip helped laid it out. Then tomorrow, NASCAR this morning on Fox Sports Net, followed by the Pocono 500 presented by Subway at 12:30 on Fox. And NASCAR Victory Lane, an all-access edition, will follow Dale Jarrett for the entire weekend. Larry, let's take a look at our race analysis.
35 cars starting, 80 laps, 200 miles, $185,000 purse. The pit window. We're going to pay close attention to this pit window. 80 laps. Some of these guys told me they could run 40 laps. Some said they couldn't, but a lot of them anticipating trying to do it on one stop, one fuel stop with changing 4 tires.
And Larry, we need to talk about Frank Kimmel. That 46 car has had a tremendous season. He won 4 straight races, but he's had to drop to the rear of the field.
Well, this is a car they bought from Roush Racing. Mark Martin ran second with it at Phoenix last year. He's won 3 events with this race car. All of a sudden at Michigan, they started having engine problems. Lost 2 engines at Michigan. They've already lost 2 engines this week at Pocono, and that can drive you crazy. And it's the same problem because the piston keeps seizing up, but he's going to have to drop to the rear of the field. Borrowed the motor that Stuart Kirby ran 3rd with at Michigan last week.
Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Stuart Kirby right now has 2 voices in his ear. Patty Simcoe is on top of the grandstand. She is guiding him to the green flag. Bob Schacht, his crew chief, and her husband is here. And Patty has just said green flag. He's been given the go, 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 and he's going to try.
Well, Stuart Kirby, he didn't get a very good start in that 75 car. David Keith in the 57 car, the yellow, orange, and red car right there, or the green car, he gets off to a fast start. He was the fastest in practice yesterday. Everybody said this could be the car to watch here today.
Looking back, though, it looks like our pole sitter is up to speed. Just maybe missed a shift, Larry.
May have very well, and again, you run some very unique ratios here in the transmission because of shifting on the front stretch. You're going from third to fourth gear. That front stretch is so long, you have to shift to keep from turning too many RPMs.
Dick was talking about Bob Shack, the car owner of that 75, the Stuart Kirby, and we've got a car smoking. It's number 51. That would be Kevin Belmont, brother of Andy Belmont, also in this race.
He's definitely putting some oil down, and caution is on the speedway.
First caution flag of the day after just one lap. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, they've had a lot of trouble with Kevin Belmont's car since they got here, in fact. First it was that the engine just wasn't running. Then they had an oiling problem. They hauled the engine out of the car, took it over to the engine builder, put it on the dyno trying to solve the oiling problem. By the looks of things, they didn't get it solved.
So 51, Belmont headed to pit road and probably to the garage area. Frank Kimmel has gone from 35th all the way up to 18th in one lap. We'll get things sorted out here on the racetrack and be back with more of the ARCA REMAX 200 here in Pocono, Pennsylvania on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to Pocono. You're watching the ARCA REMAX series on Fox Sports Net. It's the 10th race of the 2001 season for the ARCA drivers as you look out the front of Frank Kimmel's windshield. He's had a lot of problems, as we mentioned, with the motor situation. Let's get down to Jimmy Spencer for more on that. Jimmy?
We're standing in the pits here with Frank Kimmel's brother, Bill. He's a crew chief, and he said he had problems yesterday with the motor. They put a motor in. They changed the motor. So, Bill, what happened here?
Well, we had a little problem with an oil filter yesterday afternoon in our Happy Hour deal, so we had to change the motor. Got an unknown motor right now, so you know, we come in right before it went green, topped off with the gas, try to get as many laps as we can. We haven't had a chance to do a gas mileage run or anything like that, so we just kind of had to play it by ear here and see how we do today.
How many laps you figure you can run? You think you're going to have to make a guess now?
Well, I'm guessing the mid-30s right now because we put more jet in it, probably what we should have. Trying to protect the race car, trying to protect the motor so we can make sure we finish. So,
all right. Well, I think these guys are going to have a good day anyway, and good luck on the gas mileage guess here. And I predict Bill Kimmel will be up front shortly.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy's like a pro down there all of a sudden.
He's fell right into the deal. And Frank's already moved up to 18th position. Something we did mention as well, Larry Hollenbeck in the 15 car, he had to go to the rear field because he had an engine problem in Happy Hour. And Mike Swaim Jr., who qualified 5th in 22 car, he had to go to the rear field, crashed in final practice yesterday, had to go to backup car. He just topped his car off with fuel under this caution. Looks like we're going green again with David Keith in that 57, bringing him to the start.
Green flag has been unfurled. We're back racing here in Pocono. 80 laps, 200 miles of racing in this ARCA series. And taking a look back, it looked like Stuart Kirby got a good start that time.
Yes, he did, and we heard that he did miss a shift on the start of that race. Very easy to do here at Pocono. We saw Jeff Gordon do that several years ago, actually cost him the race on a restart.
Yeah, with about 15 laps to go, cost him the race, as you said. Terry Labonte won that race, I believe.
I believe he did too, his teammate.
Andy Belmont there in the 1 car under the 19. That's Ed Barrier. And Larry, note about Ed Barrier, he's raced in the Busch Series, won in Hickory, in fact. He's raced in Winston Cup, as you see the 19 back there behind. His brother is Todd Barrier.
That's Kevin Harvick's crew chief on the Busch Grand National car. Leading the Busch points right now.
Looking out the back of Andy Belmont's car, now 7th, started 11th. He's already picked up 4 spots. Coming down that long straightaway, 3,700 feet, a battle for second. Tim Steele in that red number 16 goes by the 14 of Josh Richardson. Josh Richardson is the son of Busch Series crew chief Donnie Richardson.
Donnie Richardson and Brett Bodine's nephew. This is actually a Brett Bodine Racing car out of their stable. Mike Hillman, Brett's crew chief, looking after it. This is the car that Josh wrecked at Charlotte about 3 weeks ago. Brett says, I gave him 1 motor, I gave him 1 car. He said, use it at your discretion. But he qualified 6th, never seen this racetrack before, and he was fast. He was 4th fastest in practice yesterday.
And Tim Steele, what a career he's had. 38 victories in that red number 16. Now let's take a listen and see if they shift here, Larry.
This is off to turn 3. Had to get out of the throttle just a little bit. Now we'll listen right here as he comes up on the front straightaway. Long front straightaway. shifted with RPMs. It's a Jericho transmission. Let's listen to him going into turn 1. Back to third gear. He'll pull third gear here down the Long Pond Straight. This is between 1 and 2. Reason we call it Long Pond Straight, Long Pond, Pennsylvania, just a few miles outside of this straightaway.
He's going to shift here, Larry?
He's not shifting there. Not shifting there. This is the tunnel turn. Turn 2. Reason we call this the tunnel turn, the tunnel that comes in the infield goes under. This is the short chute right here. This is where you want the lowest gear. It's the shortest straightaway.
Back up front, Tim Steele trying to get by the 57 of Keith, going for the lead.
And Tim Steele in the 16, he got a great run off turn 3, back to the throttle, way before David Keith. Makes him look like he's got a lot of motor down his front straightaway. He's going to take the lead into turn 1.
Makes it stick there on the bottom, as I started to say a moment ago. 38 career wins for Tim Steele, third on the all-time list. And Larry, 7 wins on this racetrack.
And at one time, 5 in a row.
He trails Frank Kimmel for the points lead by just 85 points. We thought Frank Kimmel was going to run away from it. As you said, he had motor problems in Michigan, still having problems here this weekend. Tim Steele, a 3-time champion, trying to make it 4.
Takes 1 week to lose it, several weeks to get it back.
Take a look back a little deeper in the field. There's the 1 car, Andy Belmont. Battle for 7th and 8th. Speaking of points, Andy third in ARCA points. Had a good run, 4 straight top 10s.
25 car there. That's Skip Smith. This is down the front straightaway. Heard him just shift. Oh, you barely can hear him shift there. It's like a speed shift. Off into turn 1 right here. Almost 200 miles an hour right here into turn 1. Picking up that throttle. You try to pick it up too soon. Car push, get a little loose.
Battle for third. Here comes 75. That's our pole sitter, Stuart Kirby. Going by Josh Richardson. Remember, Kirby missed the shift to start the race. Our 20-year-old pole sitter, just his 5th ARCA race.
They was not real happy with their car in practice. I talked to Bob Shack, his crew chief, which Bob Shack has 6 wins, ARCA wins here at Pocono. They was very tight in practice. The front end was not wanting to turn. Made a few changes on that race car this morning, and it looks like he, other than missing the shift at the start of the race, he's going back toward the front.
Larry, I'm amazed. Frank Kimmel makes a move. I'm amazed at how drivers get, you talked about 200 miles an hour down that front stretch, how they get that thing slowed down and turned without upsetting the car.
Yeah, I mean, you're going more than a 90-degree turn here into turn 1. Frank Kimmel in that 46 car, he's all the way up to 9th place. He is on the move. He was happy with his race car. The only problem they got is the unknowns of this motor. But I told him, Frank and I talked this morning, I said, Frank, the great thing about borrowing a motor, putting it in there, at the end of the day, you will know whether the problems you've been having is with the car or with your motors.
Great point. Richard Mitchell in the 54 car right behind Kimmel. Now Kimmel looking at the 1 of Belmont. He's got a room under, and he makes the pass, Larry.
When you get to the bottom right there, you root him out of the way. You want to run right out around the bottom of this turn 3, pick up that throttle. Look how much distance he's going to put on Andy Belmont. Belmont way out of the groove, couldn't get back to the throttle. Here he's going to pass Billy Ventry Jr. This will be a battle for 7th. I'm sorry, that's Skip Smith in the 25 car.
Skip Smith, a retired Pennsylvania state trooper from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Well, Tim Steele continues to lead here at Pocono. So take a look at the top 10. We'll be right back here on Fox Sports Net. Tim Steele continues to lead here at Pocono in the ARCA REMAX Series, 10th race of the 2001 season. He's followed by David Keith in the 57 car. Right now, Steele pulling away to a big advantage. Our pole sitter, Stuart Kirby, is running 3rd after 10 laps. You know, Larry, as I said, I'm amazed that these drivers can get these things slowed down and turned in turn 1. So, hey, let's ask Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy, how do you do it, man?
I tell you, that's a tough one, Larry. You know, when you're coming down that straightaway, the longest straightaway, in fact, that straightaway is so long that some of these ARCA cars will not run on the racetrack. The straightaway is that long. That's how long it is. There's markers down there, 3, 2, and 1. And then it's heavy braking. Some guys lift at 2, some guys lift at 1. The Winston Cup cars lift at 1. I'm sure some of the ARCA cars that are fast are lifted at 1. They stay out as far as they can against the wall and try to break the car in a straight line. When I say break the car, step on the brake pedal, slow the car down as much as they think it needs to be. Get off the brake, turn it down in, and get it to the white line. Then there's some banking down there that helps hold it, but that's the critical part of the racetrack. I think if you can get through 1 and 2 real good, gets you back up that straightaway, and that's where a lot of passes is done up off of that turn 2. But I'm in the pits now here with Brett Bodine's nephew, which is his wife's sister's boy, Josh Richardson, and staying there with Mike Hillman. He's doing a great job today, Mike.
I didn't get to hear you, Jimmy. It's too loud here.
He's doing a great job today.
He's doing a really good job. You know, this is only the second time he's ever drove one of these big, heavy cars, and, you know, coming to a 2.5-mile track. And he's doing tremendous. You know, we're really proud of him.
Also up in the tower there, we got Brett Bodine and my partner Todd spotting for him, so they got experience up there, and hopefully he can have a really good day today.
All right, Jimmy, thanks for that explanation. And bonus coverage, talking to Mike Hillman. Jimmy's everywhere.
He's everywhere. He's like Dick Berggren.
He is. Hey, need to mention a few cars have been off the racetrack. We saw the 51 of Kevin Belmont, also the 53 of Robert Burrows to the garage, the 56 of Eric Martin, and the 64 of Todd Antrican. 4 cars off the track right now. Tim Steele continues to lead, followed by the 57, David Keith from Mooresville, North Carolina. 3 wide. Andy Belmont in the middle. Richard Mitchell, the 54. Jason Jarrett right behind him in that 67, the pole sitter last week at Michigan.
And that's Skip Smith in the 25 car. But 3 wide on the front stretch at Pocono, not a problem. It's nothing for him to go 5 wide.
And Jason Jarrett, getting back to him for a second, was disappointed, Larry. He'd won a race 2 weeks ago at Kansas, the first ARCA win for him. Sits on the pole at Michigan, and before the race, they knew they had a valve spring problem, and it ended his day early. Yeah, and they actually ended up tearing a gear up, I think, during the race as well. So lots of problems after sitting on the pole at Charlotte. But I talked to Dale Jarrett, his dad, last night, and Dale's very proud of the progress that Jason has made. His crew chief, Red Farmer, who I know has got to be about 100 years old, still running dirt, but he is definitely a legend. I got to work with Red Farmer some. When I was working with Davey Allison, Red would sometimes go test the super speedways for us, but I think that whole package is starting to come together. Now, Red's not older than dirt. He just raced on dirt.
Exactly, but I know he's been racing a long time.
Andy Belmont there in the 1 car. He's dropped to the 9th position. As we said, though, Andy's had 4 runs in a row of top 10. Got himself 3rd in the points. And Andy's been around the series for a long time. 43 years old out of Pendle, Pennsylvania. As he goes by Skip Smith.
The 54 car right there, though, that's Richard Mitchell, qualified 13th. This is only his 3rd ARCA start. He run late models in Mills, West Virginia. That car that he's driving, that's the car that Scott Wimmer made his Winston Cup debut in Atlanta last year when he was driving for Bill Davis with the Pontiacs.
Hey, let's go down to Dick Berggren.
This Richard Mitchell is quite the story for sure. He is much more used to running cars that have 300 horsepower engines and bias ply tires. Says he's having a bit of a problem trying to get the feel of the tires, which even many of the regular veterans are having a problem with here. He told me this morning, he said, none of us really know what we're doing here. We are all learning this racetrack together. Quite a performance. Mitchell in 10th spot. His first time ever at Pocono, only his 2nd time on a big racetrack. And he brought the same group of guys that's worked with him in late models. He said, we're going to do this together and we're going to grow together. What a great agenda to try to keep up with.
Tim Steele continuing to lead after 15 laps. Frank Kimmel making a move, a strong move on the 91 of Blaze Alexander.
That'll be a battle for 5th.
We got lap traffic to worry about there, slower traffic. To the inside, Larry.
He got such a great run off turn 3. That Stuart Kirby motor, it's definitely pulling. You heard him shift right there. But look at the run he got, and that was with all the traffic clogged up back there in turn 3. And he's going to make the pass here. He's going to outrun him, outbrake him into turn 1, and he'll take that 5th position.
So Frank Kimmel with a borrowed motor. He come from rear of the field position, Larry, in just 16 laps.
And right now, though, he's going to need a caution because he's 12 seconds behind. We still got a long way to go, but he needs that caution, or if they should go to green flag stops, he'll need a good green flag stop to pick up some of the ground.
Tim Steele continues to lead here. The ARCA RE/MAX 200 in Pocono. You're watching Racing on Fox Sports Net. 18 of 80 laps complete here at the Pocono ARCA 200 in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Tim Steele continues to lead, followed by David Keith and Stuart Kirby. But Larry, a second ago, I saw some smoke behind that 75 of our pole sitter, Stuart Kirby.
Yeah, it's, you know, it did a little bit of puff there, so we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if maybe it was coming out the exhaust, coming out the rear. A lot of things can happen here. You've got the transmission that you're shifting. It certainly could be a critical component, so we'll have to keep a close watch on Stuart Kirby, our pole sitter. Dick Berggren, what can you add to it?
Well, typical car owner, Bob Schacht just got on the radio for all to hear. You know, we all eavesdrop on these guys, and ARCA is certainly listening to him as well. And he said, oh, nothing to worry about, probably just a little bit of smoke. It's no big deal. Nobody's within a half a mile of us. Just a little oil maybe on the header. No big deal. He's just telling his driver, Stuart Kirby, keep on trucking.
Larry, you crew chiefs play mind games. I'm telling you.
You got to be a great salesman. Huh? That's what you
That's what it
be.
is.
This is the same car that Stuart ran third with last week at Michigan, and they packed the wheel bearings, put a fresh motor in that thing, and he's sitting here running in third after sitting on the pole with a new track record.
Let's take a look at that smoke from the onboard camera.
This is coming down the front stretch.
And we've got caution. Norm Benning and the 84 cars in the wall, Larry.
Hard into that outside wall.
Second caution flag comes on lap 19. It's the 84 of Norm Benning into the wall. You see heavy right side damage.
And this is about halfway down the Long Pond Straight between turn 1 and turn 2.
Now let's go back and take a look at that smoke. Perhaps that's 75. Let's see what we can see from inside the race car.
Smoke there coming out from underneath the dasher, actually through the shifter. There's a shifter right there. Of course, below that would be the hole that goes down to the transmission. Just a little puff right there.
Let's take a look at what happened to Norm Benning in the number 84 car.
Coming off turn 1 right there. Wow, he hit the ball hard. I don't know who the white car was right there. That is a hard lick, and they are carrying a lot of speed there, faster than you can ever imagine coming off the corner.
Window net is down. That is good news. That means he's okay. The drivers do that to signal to track officials that they are okay. Norm, 49 years old, out of Level Green, Pennsylvania, one of 9 drivers from Pennsylvania who attempted to make this race.
And of course, trying to make the Daytona 500 earlier this year, had problems in the 125. The pit road is closed, so the leaders won't be on pit road right now. Saw Norm this morning. He was in there adjusting the valves on the motor himself. He never quits, keeps trying.
Well, Norm Benning is okay. We're under caution on lap 21. We'll be right back to Pocono.
Fox Sports Net welcomes you back, the halfway point of the ARCA race from Pocono. And, of course, the final Winston Cup practice on FX. See who's running what tomorrow. Talk with a number of the drivers from the pits. And then the Busch Series from Kentucky. That's on FX at 7:30 Eastern following the Winston Cup cars tuning up for Pocono. Tomorrow, NASCAR this morning at 10 Eastern with John Roberts and the gang. And then the pre-race show at 12:30 Eastern, a sit-down interview with Jeff Gordon. He'll tell you how he reacts to being booed and what he thinks of dominant teams and people in sports. NASCAR Victory Lane wraps things up on Fox Sports Net. And from the Hollywood Hotel, of course, Jimmy Spencer. Right, you know him in the 26 car in the Winston Cup Series, helping us here as our pit reporter in the ARCA race there. And now, you know, he never forgets, and now that is part of his motto. Can you see that? Jimmy Spencer never forgets. In fact, the Blaze Alexander's crew, their pit crew, they are donning these T-shirts, and a lot of people remember. I guess we'll never be able to forget Jimmy Spencer, whether we want to or not. Let's go to Steve Burns. Steve.
All right, thanks, Chris. Great T-shirt. Great T-shirt.
Makes a statement.
It says it all, doesn't it?
And you might know Chris Myers would have one in the Hollywood Hotel.
Hey, now, speaking of Jimmy Spencer, let's get down to some brass tacks here, Larry. Let's talk about strategy with Jimmy.
Well, since my other driver's in Kentucky, I got to talk to my new driver, Jimmy. Okay, buddy, We've hit it with 41 laps to go now. Every caution, remember, is like 2 laps. So you got to save a little fuel for me, Henry. Are you hearing that maybe these guys can make it to the end?
I'm hearing yes and no. Tim Steele's crew says no way. They have a Robbie Yates engine. They say when you have that kind of horsepower, you've got to feed that horse. So that's going to take a lot of oats to feed, and they cannot make it on 41 laps. Some of the other guys are talking they can. The bottom line is that if you're going to try to make it, you have to really be easy on your throttle, be in 3rd gear now, just idling around the racetrack. And naturally, Larry, I think you're going to have to top off right now. When we get ready to go back to green, I think you're going to see some of the cars come in, top off, and try to make it. Naturally, for Tim Steele's pit, he's not going to be able to do it, he said.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the one to go, so we'll be racing next time. Now, Bobby Gearhart, he's on pit road. He'll top off Jerry Hill as well. But, yeah, you got to start planning that strategy now. Jason Jarrett, he stayed out in the 67 car till they got the one to go, got his 4 tires and fuel now, so he should be able. That's 39 laps to go. I don't know, though. We saw him slowing down before that caution. They're under the hood trying to see what's going on. Look like they're checking the spark plug wires.
Could be engine troubles 2 weeks in a row for Jason Jarrett. Bobby Gerhardt in the number 5 car just took gas, Larry.
Topping off, and that's 39 laps to go. This next lap will be under caution to take the green. I got to believe maybe he can go the distance here.
I remember last week at Michigan, he felt like he had a big advantage on fuel mileage. Would that carry over to Pocono if he felt the same way?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, you use a similar motor combination as here. Again, use a little more fuel mileage. Not as good here because you're off the throttle a lot more than Michigan. Back on the throttle, we've heard the cars when they're on older tires having to pedal that throttle just a little bit. And every time you're patting that gas, the squirters is sending fuel through the carburetor, hurting your fuel mileage.
Andy Belmont looks to be our leader in that number 1 car.
And he was on pit road with the leaders, but I do believe he only changed 2 right side tires. That's how he won the battle off pit road. Maybe not bad strategy. Those tires, they only had about 15 laps on them, 14 or 15 laps. They just got to make sure that they stayed there long enough to get that fuel tank full.
And that's the big thing. You know, anymore, the guys changing tires. Of course, in the ARCA series, not as fast as Winston Cup. But, you know, the big question is, did he get enough gas? Let's go to Dick Berger. Dick?
Jason Jarrett came in here 4th in points. He's got the car he won Kansas with. He had a big smile. That smile has gone away. Valve spring has failed in the engine. He will be down on horsepower the rest of the day.
And it was the same problem they found at Michigan, Larry, on that 67. And we're about to get the green flag.
38 laps to go. Andy Belmont brings David Keith down to start this race. 5 wide, 6 wide. Andy Belmont, he wants to keep the lead. He was running David Keith all over the front straightaway. David Keith in the 57, though, on the high side. Turn 1 gets a good run. They're going to be side by side off turn 1.
Andy Belmont hasn't won a race this year. He's finished 5th the last 2 weeks in a row.
Boy, a lot of RPMs. Listen to those RPMs going down this long pond straightaway. David Keith, he's going to carry it down in the tunnel. Turn 2, take the lead. Frank Kimmel in the 46 car. He's on the outside up the short chute.
And what a great story it would be if Frank Kimmel could win this race. We talked about his hot streak, 4 races in a row that he won. He's got 4 poles, 2-time series champion, but big motor problems 2 weeks in a row.
But look at the run he's getting right there off turn 3. They're going to be side by side at the start-finish line with David Keith, Frank Kimmel. And they both down the front straightaway.
And Tim Steele in that red number 16 right behind the 57 of Keith. And Belmont, the blue and yellow car, also to the bottom.
While these guys are running side by side, Tim Steele, he's making gain on. Look at David Keith carry that thing down into turn 1. Can it stick? Frank Kimmel in the 46, he's on the bottom side. Tim Steele, he's going to watch to see who gets the lead.
And Larry, Jimmy Spencer had a great point. He said that Steele's got a Robert Yates motor. As he drops to the inside, he's going to make a move.
3 wide in this tunnel turn, guys. It won't work. It won't work. You got to give. Tim Steele's going to take the lead.
Frank Kimmel goes with him in 2nd. But get back to the point, Larry. You've got all that horsepower, but too much horsepower or a lot of horsepower, you're not going to get as good a fuel mileage.
There's no free lunches, but give me that horsepower any given day.
Looking out Frank Kimmel's windshield at the leader, Tim Steele. Let's check in with Dick Berger. Dick?
Well, we talked about Frank Kimmel and his engine problems. Let me diagnose and analyze what has happened. They lost 2 motors last week in Michigan. 1 in practice, 1 in the race itself. Both Both with the same failure mode. Piston, when they first came here, they lost a third engine. Same failure mode. Piston. The oil filter problem that they had that cost them their 4th motor in 2 weeks, that was simple human error. Where did the engine come from that's under the hood of that car? They borrowed it from Bob Shack, the guy that owns Stuart Kirby's car.
Dick and Steve, the racing gods, they work in mysterious ways. If he had 3 engine failures because of pistons, you just wonder if that 4th motor would have showed up today with a piston problem had the filter not been put in backwards. So maybe a blessing, like I told Frank this morning, and he's wanting the lead here off turn 3 beside Tim Steele. But the great thing about it, you put a borrowed motor in there, you'll find out if it's the motor or the car.
He goes to the inside of the 16. The fans are on their feet here at Pocono.
David Keith in that 57 car, he wants to see who's going to get the lead here. He's going to try to follow. And Frank Kimmel's going to take the lead on the bottom off turn 1. See if Tim Steele gets that run on the high side, though.
Kimmel leading in the 46, Steele in the 16 right behind him. And David Keith side by side on the backstretch. It's Belmont and the 22, Mike Swain Jr., Stuart Kirby off pole center in the 75, goes with it.
Getting trapped on the high side. Ed Berry in the blue 19. He's going to take the position. Belmont loses 3 positions by being on the high side going off into turn 2. Turn 3, it just goes forever and ever and ever onto that long straightaway. You can't even see the other end when you come out of turn 3 onto the front stretch.
And then down 3,740 feet of straightaway.
Boy, at Robert Yates horsepower, Tim Steele in the 16 car, he takes lead into turn 1. David Keith in the 57. They got Frank Kimmel trapped on the high side, but he gets a good run. He's going to hold on to 2nd position.
Let's go to Jimmy Spencer.
We're in the pit here with Tim Steele's crew chief, Tom Sikowski. Tom, what do you think on the fuel situation? What lap do you think you're going to have to make it at?
We can't quite make it all the way. We're going to probably have to do something like 10 to go unless we get a yellow, then that could change everything.
Frank Kimmel's saying he has to pit with 2 laps to go. What, are you going to make any changes? There's Tim saying the car's handling. Looks like he's leading it now. Who's his main competition, as he said?
No, not right now. So far we've been racing ourselves, just trying to keep the car neutral for him for a long run.
All right, well, we'll see what happens here. He's going to have to make a pit stop, he's saying, with about 10 laps to go. So I feel Kimmel will have to, and I feel David Keith will have to also.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Larry, do you think anybody can stretch it and make it?
I just believe there's some cars out there that can do it. I just believe with all my heart, with the few cautions we ran before we went back racing, that there's somebody out there laying in the woods that they can do it without coming to pit road. But you know what? A caution throws it all out
the window. Well, Tim Steele continues to lead here at Pocono. 33 laps remaining. Come back and join us on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to Pocono. We've completed 48 laps, and we have one car smoking badly. I believe that is Jason Jarrett in the 67. There it is, Jason Jarrett having trouble for the 2nd week in a row.
This racetrack's so hard on engines, especially the Valtrain. You turn so many RPMs. It's hard on engines.
Larry, we've got a great battle there at the front. Tim Steele, the 57 of David Keith, the 46 of Frank Kimmel. Steele and Kimmel, both former champions. You've got 5 championships right there.
And these guys, if they're trying to save fuel, they're not doing a very good job of it. This is one of the best ARCA races I've seen in years here at Pocono.
A great battle. What do you think, Dick Berggren?
Well, I think car 57, David Keith, cannot make it all the way. He is going to have to come in and make a fuel stop. Car number 14, Josh Richardson. What a ride he's having for his first full-length super speedway race. They think they can make it. And keep an eye on number 1, Andy Belmont. He maybe has the most miserly of all carburetors in the race today. He thinks he can go 112 miles with that carburetor. That'd be good enough to make it, too.
And, Dick, we've got a battle for the lead.
David Keith in that 57 car. This is down the long straightaway. He has a position in the turn 1. He's going to take it on the bottom of the racetrack. Tim Steele, he'll fall back in line. Won't let Frank Kimmel have that 2nd spot. But gets a little bit loose right there. Had to get back off the throttle. Frank Kimmel's got the momentum, pulls to the inside.
Larry, we were talking about Josh Richardson in that 14 car. He's only 19 years old. Doing a great job.
And never seen this place except coming up here with Uncle Brett and his dad, Donnie, and he's doing a well of a job. And Mike Hillman, his crew chief, which is Brett's crew chief, he was one of the guys that told me I can run 40 laps on fuel. I believe this car can make it.
Larry, we're hearing there might be debris in the tunnel turn. Haven't seen a caution flag yet. Josh Richardson, look at his picture there. Look how young he is, just 19 years old, doing a super job.
Sometimes we report debris. It could be someone trying to catch the leaders or someone needing to stop.
Someone needing one, exactly. Josh Richardson, I talked to his father, Donnie, and Donnie said they had thought about going racing in the ASA series. They were really evaluating where to go with him next because he's serious about racing.
He is, and that Mike Hillman told me, he said, look, that boy's at the shop every day. He works on his ARCA car. He works on his Winston Cup cars, but that's the way you got to do it.
So many of the Winston Cup drivers have come up actually working on race cars. You know, set race cars up. Matt Kenseth. I mean, there's a list of guys who know every nut and bolt. Jeff Green, another one.
And I believe I call it the day of the helmet driver, the driver that shows up at the racetrack and he hadn't been around the team or been near the race car for the whole week. I think the days of those drivers are going away more and more and more. You have to understand these race cars. Jason Jarrett in the 67 car has come to pit road and is retired to the garage area.
So Jason Jarrett off the racetrack. You know, Jason Jarrett was 4th in points. This is really going to hurt him as we see him head to the garage. Meanwhile, out front is the 57. David Keith continuing the lead.
And he took the lead a few laps ago, and he's already moved out to a 2nd and quarter lead. But where you want to be at Pocono, you want to be out front in clean air. That's getting all that front downforce. Nobody's disturbing the air for you, and you're getting all the benefit of front downforce. Look at the lead. He's put on Frank Kimmel right there in 2nd place. Where the guys back there in the traffic, they're having a fight losing their front downforce.
Larry, one guy we haven't talked much about, Ron Cox, in that number 23. He came in here 5th in points. He stayed on the lead lap all day. In the 13th position, there's Ron Cox from Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. Just ahead of him in the number 38, another driver we haven't spoken much about, Tom Erickson. Tom is from Heston, Pennsylvania.
And he only runs a few ARCA races in the year. He runs the 2 races here at Pocono and always runs the 2 dirt races. And he in the mid-'80s, he came to Charlotte, North Carolina and worked with Mark Reno, who is Jimmy Spencer's Busch Grand National crew chief, and Ernie Irvin getting a car set up to run asphalt at Concord. His dad owns a dirt track here in Pennsylvania, and that's how Tom got his start on dirt in hobby and late models and run a lot of races at the famous Jennerstown Speedway.
Jennerstown, Pennsylvania. Let's go to Jimmy Spencer.
All right, we're here with Jason Jarrett, and he finally got taken. What took you out, Jason? After 2 weeks ago, you won. Congratulations, but today not that way.
No, we didn't have quite as good a day today. Something happened to the motor on when I got in the throttle down in 1. It just sounded like maybe a valve spring or something, the way it gets flat. And then it started smoking, so they made us come in. But you know, ever since we got on the pole last week in Michigan, we just can't seem to find any luck the past 2 weeks.
Well, you'll get it. Don't worry. You won there 2 weeks ago. Congratulations, and it'll come around for you. Too bad for a short day for Jason.
Sure is, Jimmy. The 15 car, Larry Holland back in your picture. Remember, he had to drop to the rear of the field. He had a blown motor. Doing a good job.
Boy, look at the run. He got through the middle of the corner right there in turn 1 to the inside of the 1 car of Andy Belmont. This is a battle for 10th. Andy Belmont in the 1 car, of course, restarted this after this last caution in front by changing 2 tires.
Larry Holland back, 52 years old. He's from Portage, Michigan. Meanwhile, up front, David Keith, 55 laps are on the board. We'll see if Frank Kimmel, Tim Steele, or Josh Richardson can hunt him down. You're watching Fox Sports Net. We're just under caution for the 4th time this afternoon. Malcolm Bennett in the 11 car, a 1-car incident, but we see smoke on the 46 car, Larry, as he head to pit road.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a flat left rear tire, so what a break for Frank Kimmel, our 2nd place car. All the fuel strategy be out the window now with 20 laps to go. These guys are all to pit road, probably 4 tires, getting full of fuel.
Yeah, but let's see if anybody gambles and doesn't take 4.
Well, we know Frank Kimmel's going to take 4 because he's got a flat left rear. Jimmy Spencer, what's going on at Frank Kimmel's
Frank's got a flat left rear tire. He was was hit by a car right before the caution. He's putting 4 scuff tires on right now. Looks like they might have to help lift this car up, Larry, when they come around with the jack. Yeah, they're having trouble on the right front. Gas is done. Here they come. We'll see if they can jack okay. Nope, they don't have to. Yes, they do. I knew it. And Dick.
Keith is on pit road. Phil Thomas is the gas man. It was his call to put just 1 can in. They want to get Keith out of here, and he's gone with 4 fresh tires.
Hearing that the 57 of David Keith may have gone down pit road too fast. Tough break for Frank Kimmel.
Yeah, what he'll have to do, and we've been seeing a little bit of smoke on David Keith's car, but if he was speeding on pit road, he'll have to come back in and start at the tail end of the longest line. Oh, it's coming out to exhaust. I don't know if that's going to make it for 19 more laps, not at Pocono.
Let's take a look at why we're under caution. Caution came out on lap 58.
Malcolm Bennett in 11 car already sideways. This is in turn 3. This is in front of a lot of cars. Gets down in the grass. Wow, right in front of Tim Steele in the 16 car. But other than a little damage from going through the grass on the front end, no contact.
I am moved to say that was Malcolm in the middle. A shameless plug for Fox program.
There you go.
Let's go to Jimmy Spencer.
You could clearly see here where the car was hit. The bumper or something got in here and took the paint and everything off the wheel, knocked the valve stem out of the car. You can't see no valve stem. And it took the tire, lifted all the air out of the tire, and he rode around on a flat tire, which he still saved position. From what I understand, a 57 car has to go to the rear of the field because he entered the pit road too fast. So that's going to give a break for 46.
Well, David Keith isn't going to be going to the end of the pack because he has just lost the engine in that car. He came down pit road at 5,500 RPM, or at least that's what it was supposed to be, in first gear. When he tried to leave the pits, the engine didn't quite clear out. He got onto the back stretch and he radioed into his pits that he had lost the engine. They had just told him he had to start at the back of the longest line. Keith's words were much worse than that.
I can imagine. 2 starts this year for David Keith, a 5th and a 7th, but his day ends early today. We'll come back and reset the following, or the closing laps of the Pocono ARCA 200 on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to Pocono, Pennsylvania. Closing laps of the Pocono ARCA 200. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, interesting strategy down here. Josh Richardson, that young kid that's running in so well in his rookie start here at Pocono, took 4 tires. Stuart Kirby gambled for track position, and he took just 2. To Jimmy Spencer.
This is interesting down here. Steve, okay, the 46 car of Kimmel and the 16 car of Tim Steele both put scuffed tires on. Scuffed tires, fans, are tires that have 1 or 2 or maybe possibly 3 laps on them on the racetrack. They're not stickers. They're not brand new tires. Something these guys know from the past history of this tire, evidently, in this racetrack. We'll see if it works out for Kimmel or possibly Steele.
Jimmy, I thought you never forget.
I think you forgot what he was going to say.
We'll have to print new T-shirts.
No, you not believe what they just said. Oh, we're on the air anyway.
Yes, we are.
Hey, Kimmel said that he's going to do a Jimmy Spencer tactic if it comes right down the last lap or 2.
And what would that be, Jimmy?
Win the damn race.
Well, we're going to find out because we're coming to the green with 16 laps to go. Josh Richardson winning the battle off pit road of the cars that changed 4 tires. Our leader, Bobby Gearhart, remember he topped off on lap 42, stayed out. He's going to bring him to the green flag.
And Larry, Bobby Gearhart thought that he had the fuel mileage strategy figured out at Michigan last week, but he blew up.
But he's going to lose the lead here. Stuart Kirby, that 75 car, our pole sitter, he takes the lead, headed off into turn 1, and gets a well of a lead here with 16 laps to go. But we're still seeing a little bit of smoke come out the back of that race car.
Larry, remember, Stuart Kirby, young driver, 20 years old, was our pole sitter, missed the shift at the start of the race, lost a bunch of positions. Not this time, though.
He's back at the front of the field now where he was on qualifying day.
And you see Tim Steele snaking to the bottom in that red 16 car.
Bottom of the racetrack, underneath Josh Richardson, off turn 2. He's going to move into 2nd place. 15 laps to go. Next time at the start-finish line, Tim Steele all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Those 4 scuffed tires. He's got Stuart Kirby hung on the outside. It's a drag race down the front straightaway with 15 laps to go. And the reason Tim Steele moved way to the bottom there is to get away from Stuart Kirby, because when you're right beside each other, it hurts the drag on your car. He's going to take the lead into turn 1.
14 car, Josh Richardson, just 19 years old. He wants the lead.
And I got to believe, again, Tim Steele, Josh Richardson with 4 tires. Stuart Kirby with 2. Pocono, 18 laps on your tires. Give me 4 tires every time.
Yeah, that's a long way to go, Larry.
And look at Mike Swain Jr., that 22 car. Remember, he's in a backup car, unpracticed, started to race at the rear of the field. He's battling Stuart Kirby for 3rd.
He wrecked pretty hard in practice yesterday. Now he goes by Kirby. Maybe not.
I don't know. He's at the bottom of the racetrack. He's got 4 tires. Stuart Kirby's got 2. I believe he's going to take position, but it'll be a drag race here down the front stretch. Stuart Kirby, though, takes the position back at the start-finish line. 14 laps to go.
Larry, we've had 4 cautions. 15 cars are off the racetrack. 13 lead changes. Take a look at this group. We're getting down to it now. Ron Cox in the 23. And then just ahead of him, Blaze Alexander from Montoursville, Pennsylvania, that 91 car. He gets underneath Andy Belmont.
It's a battle for 8th.
And we have caution out for the 5th time today. Incident down in turn number 1.
That's Tim Mitchell in the 6 car. Caution is on the speedway. Coming back to the flag. Now these guys, they do not race back to the caution unless there's 10 laps to go. So the field is frozen. Tim Steele will keep the lead.
Tim Steele in the lead. You see the 6 car there. Tim Mitchell from Fayetteville, Tennessee. And there's old Malcolm Bennett, the 11 car, up against the wall.
Remember, Malcolm had to spin in turn 3. That brought the last caution flag out. A lot of damage this time to that race car. Hard contact to the outside wall in turn 1.
5th caution coming out on lap number 66 of an 80-lap race. See Tim Mitchell moving around as the track workers get to him. Let's take a look at the replay in progress, Larry.
This will be going off into turn 1. Malcolm Bennett in 11. They were already together, actually, before they got to turn 1, so they made contact way back on the front straightaway.
Wow.
Just getting through. One to the high side, one to the bottom side. He splits the middle.
Caution is out for the 5th time today. Closing laps of the ARCA Pocono 200. You're watching on Fox Sports Net. Under caution for the 5th time today. You see just 11 laps remaining of the Pocono ARCA 200. Good news, though, as they tow Malcolm Bennett's car away, that number 11. He was able to get out and walk to the ambulance under his own power, Larry. There he is.
Took a hard lick to that outside wall, though.
Shaking the cobwebs out a little bit. He was involved in the 2-car incident with number 6, Tim Mitchell. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
On Thursday, Josh Richardson took his very first laps around the Pocono International Raceway. Those laps were in a rental car with Todd Bodine, Brett Bodine, and his crew chief, Mike Hillman. That's how he found the line. His pit stops today have been beautifully executed by Brett Bodine's pit crew. In his ear, Todd Bodine and Brett Bodine. Todd Bodine has just told Richardson that he is beating everyone through the corners. He said, just be smooth. And remember, we'll be back here in July. He's got another crack to try and win. He doesn't do it today. Jimmy Spencer.
If we were standing in Frank Kimmel's pit, he was lucky the caution came out, as he said. He had a tire equalize. He was getting ready to pit. And when a tire equalizes, that means the inner liner and the outer tire have the same amount of pressure, and it vibrates, shimmies, and shakes you to death. He dropped all the way back to 13th place. So now he'll have a long way to go with about 10 laps to go. He's actually going to be less than that. So he's going to have a tough road ahead of him.
All right, thanks a lot, Jimmy. There's a spotter on the 46 car on the roof, trying to make a deal to get Frank Kimmel back to the front. Tim Steele is leading. He's followed by 19-year-old Josh Richardson. We'll see as we look at Tim Steele's wife if anybody can beat Tim Steele. Boy, it's tough being a mom in racing. That's Donna Richardson. 19-year-old Josh Richardson is out there in the number 14 car in the second position. There's Brett Bodine.
Brett Bodine, his wife Diane is Donna's twin sister.
Twin sister. So Uncle Brett up on the roof. Also, as we said earlier, Todd Bodine spotting, and there he is, 19 years old. Oh, Mom's nervous.
I don't know if Mom's going to make it 8 laps here. Come on, Donna, we can do it.
Oh, my gosh. Pace car is off.
Single file restart, less than 10 laps to go, no lap traffic. Josh Richardson trying to stay right with Tim Steele, 8 laps to go.
And let's set it up, Larry. Tim Steele in the lead, 38 career wins, third on the all-time win list, 7 wins here at Pocono, and 19-year-old Josh Richardson right behind him.
He gets a good lead here, though, in turn 1. But look at Josh Richardson. Good run through the middle of turn 1, pulls right back up toward Tim Steele.
Frank Kimmel to the bottom.
Remember, Frank Kimmel restarted this race in 13th. He knows he only has a few laps to get back to the front. Somebody's got to give, guys. 3 wide, and Frank Kimmel takes the position into the tunnel turn.
Clear high.
Strong move by Frank Kimmel. He's got 4 brand new Hoosier tires on that race car.
They did put stickers on this time, new tires.
New tires. Frank Kimmel into the 10th position. But as you see at the top of your screen, only 8 laps to go. Tim Steele, the leader. Josh Richardson behind him. 75. Stuart Kirby, your pole sitter, is 3rd. Mike Swain Jr. 4th. Bobby Gerhart in 5th.
But you got to go hard. You got to do all you can. You never know when a caution may come out. Those guys, they're putting a lot of distance on this group right here, and there's only 7 laps to go. You got to go.
The 91, Blaze Alexander. Oh, Andy Belmont right behind him, and Kimmel's underneath Alexander.
This will be a battle for 6 right here. Frank Kimmel, right where he made the pass a while ago, headed down the Long Pond Straight in the tunnel turn.
Larry, that purple car, that's the 15 of Larry Hollenbach. Blown motor, we talked about him, went to the rear of the field. He's up in there.
But look at Frank Kimmel with those fresh tires. Drove that thing into turn 2. You saw it wiggle. He's going to move to the high side. He's going to try to take the position up the short chute.
Closing it on Hollenbach.
Trying to pick that throttle up early. He gets back to the throttle, tries to get to the inside. Now it'll be the drag race down the long front straightaway here. He'll get the position before they get to turn 1.
He's inside of him. Can he make the pass?
Outside.
Grabbed high gear right there. Got to outrun him, outbreak him into turn 1, side by side.
Outside.
And they touch just a little bit.
Outside.
Oh, Frank Alexander, Hollenbach get together. Is he going to save it? He's still green. He's going to get back going. No yellow flag.
Hollenbach did a great job not to lose it and hit the wall. Kept it turned hard left. We stay under green.
Frank Kimmel, he'd have loved to see a yellow flag right there. That'd close him back up to those leaders.
Here you see the left side dented in. Take a look at the contact of 46, Frank Kimmel.
This was off into turn 1. Frank Kimmel's going to clear Hollenbach. Now Blaze Alexander, the 91, drives it in there. Just a little too much speed in the center of the corner. Gets in the side of Larry Hollenbach in the 15 car. Spins. Fortunately, no one else was coming, but a lot of damage on the front end as he goes through the grass.
All right, let's go back up front. Tim Steele, the veteran, 3-time series champion. He's leading 19-year-old Josh Richardson.
But I believe they told Josh the truth. He is fast through the center of the corner, but Tim Steele, when he hits that straightaway with that Robert Yates engine, powers down the straightaways, pulls him just a little bit.
What an upset this would be if Josh Richardson could pull up to Tim Steele and pass him.
There'll be 4 laps to go. Weather is lurking out over turn 1. We're hearing rain may be on the way. 4 laps to go. What's going to come first? 80 laps or a little bit of weather?
It's raining down there, Josh. Be careful. Ain't doing nothing.
Here he comes. Got to run off turn 3. 4 laps to go. Right on Tim Steele.
Just follow his tire tracks down there, Josh, and just be real smooth. Let him make the mistake. Let's go. The bottom now, Tim. Protect it now.
We heard Todd Bodine say, stay smooth.
And Kim Spielspotter telling him to protect the bottom. Boy, Josh Richardson got loose, but we're hearing rain is right there over turn 1.
Over me. Got it throwing. It's raining bad.
You can hear the driver
driver's saying it's raining bad. They get back to the line. There'll be 3 laps to go. They come up the short chute here off turn 2, heading toward turn 3. Caution is on the speedway, and we've been right. This could be the race. Back to the caution right here.
Steele leading, Richardson behind him.
We're back. There you go,
Come
buddy.
back to the caution.
They get the caution with 3 laps to go.
Yeah.
So we've had reports of rain down in between turns 1 and 2. 3 laps to go.
This could be the race if they don't get it back started here. And right now it's Tim Steele, Josh Richardson, Stuart Kirby, Mike Swain, Frank Kimmel all the way up to 5th. Bobby Gearhart in 6th.
Good job, man. Thanks for not giving up, man. Good job. Joe, see you back in the free lane.
We'll find out if this race is going to finish under caution. If it does, Tim Steele has his 39th career win. We'll be right back to sort it all out on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to Pocono. We've seen a tremendous stock car race here today in the ARCA REMAX Series. Tim Steele is going to win this race, Larry, under caution. Got some rain down in turns 1 and 2. So Tim Steele will come back to the checkered flag. His 39th career win. 8th win here at Pocono. Great race.
It was a great race. I mean, I've been watching ARCA races here at Pocono for a long time, but this one, I believe, goes straight to the top of the charts because our guys finish in 2nd, 3rd. Josh Richardson, Stuart Kirby, never seen this racetrack, never driven a race here, finishes 2nd, 3rd, right there on the heels of Tim Steele.
Yeah, Josh Richardson, 19, Stuart Kirby, 20, and Tim Steele,
oh my gosh,
champion.
You told their ages, they're still younger than I.
Me too, for that matter. Let's go to Jimmy Spencer.
There's nothing like winning. Standing here with Tom Sokoloski. Congratulations, Tom. That's Tim's 2nd win of the year. His 8th out of 15. That's incredible. Great job today.
Yeah, feels good to win again. We've been struggling all year, and we finally got things starting to come our way. We didn't get to do a long run in happy hour, so it kind of had us guessing on fuel mileage, but everything worked out, and glad to go back to victory lane in Pocono.
There you go, and congratulations. And now we're going to go down and try to get in touch with Josh here at what a great job he did, Josh Richardson.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. 8 wins at Pocono for Tim Steele. Holding out 3 fingers to honor Dale Earnhardt. Let's take a look at the results here from Pocono. Crowd cheering for Tim Steele as he salutes Dale Earnhardt.
Frank Kimmel took him 4 or 5 laps on those fresh tires. Restarted the race in 13th, got back up to 5th. So he should hold on to his points lead, but lost a little ground to Tim Steele.
Blaze Alexander, Pennsylvania driver.
Larry Hollenbeck in the 15 car, that late race spin didn't bring the caution out, but was having a great run after starting at the rear of the field.
And David Keithams on the 57 was also a contender. Engine trouble put him in the garage.
Jason Jarrett finally had to go to the garage with engine failure, ends up 22nd.
And let's take a look at the points. Frank Kimmel was the points leader coming into Pocono. Tim Steele cuts into it again, though.
Almost chops it, not quite in half. 85 points coming in here. Now it's 55-point lead.
Let's go down to Dick Berggren.
Okay, Don, out of there. We need to get your driver on camera. That was his wife, Dawn, giving Tim Steele a big kiss. Tim wiping his face off. Tough race. Come on out of that car, Tim. He's working on it. He's working on it. Here we go. Congratulations from the crew. Tim Steele, 8 wins in 15 starts here at Pocono, over 50%, an incredible record. How is it that you do so well at this track?
You know, I don't know. It's 50% here. Maybe we're going to get back to where it used to be, where we're winning 50% of the races everywhere, you know. Been struggling this year with motors, the cars, everything, and this team never gave up on me and everything. We kept working, trying to figure this deal out, and I think we finally figured out. I think most of all, this Robert and Doug Yates, I mean, they gave me
a motor here, which I think is pretty darn obvious that she was a good one. That you know, they didn't need to do that, and they did, and you don't know how much I appreciate that.
Oh, you did a great job today. Congratulations. Let's go to Jimmy Spencer.
Hey, we're sitting here with Josh Wilson, Richardson. What a great job. Brett, what a great job here. Congratulations on second place. First time ever at Pocono, Josh. You've done a heck of a job. Brett, good car owner. Well, let's do this tomorrow. What do you think?
Yeah, I got to thank Uncle Brad, Auntie Di, my mom and dad, Mark Smith for the great engines, HPD. All these boys that work for Uncle Brad, they helped me out after I wrecked it at Charlotte. It's the same car. After I wrecked at Charlotte, I learned a whole lot about what these things need to do to drive, and I just can't thank them all enough.
We've been here before, haven't we?
I'll tell you what, Brett, you
First
know
time
it.
here.
Just what he said, the experience. You know, Darrell Waltrip says it all the time on the air, guys. And, you know, there's a guy that admitted he made a mistake at Charlotte, and he learned from it, and he come back today, and he did a great job, and he got second. Congratulations, Josh.
All right, and thank you very much, Jimmy Spencer. Tim Steele, as Dick Berggren said, his 8th win in 15 starts. Let's go to Chris Myers.
Let's go down to the victory lane now.
He is your winner, and as you pointed out, his 8th career victory at Pocono. His 2nd win overall this season. He actually had a string of 5 straight at Pocono through the late 90s. The ARCA Series shifting to Memphis, Tennessee next weekend. Stick around for Winston Cup practice on FX. That's coming up. And join us tomorrow when Jeff Gordon tries to win his 3rd straight Winston Cup race. Ricky Rudd on the pole for the Pocono 500. You'll see that on Fox, 12:30 Eastern Time, our pre-race show. And we got a lot going on. First of all, as we mentioned on FX, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. The final practice, the final tune-up if weather cooperates. And then the NASCAR Busch Series from Kentucky, Darrell Waltrip with Mike Joy, Jeff Hammond, and Matt Yoakum at 7:30 Eastern. NASCAR this morning, a 10 a.m. Eastern start on Fox Sports Net. NASCAR Victory Lane with a special look behind the scenes with Dale Jarrett. And on Fox, you'll see the Pocono 500, and at 12:30 Eastern on the pre-race show, a special sit-down interview with Jeff Gordon. He'll talk about getting that feeling like he had in 1998 when he won the 13 Winston Cup races. That's it from Pocono for now. For Steve Burns and Larry McReynolds and Dick Berggren, and how about Jimmy Spencer from nearby Berwick, Pennsylvania? Knowing the Pocono track, our guest pit reporter, he passed the test. We'll have him back, but he has work to do tomorrow when he races in the Pocono 500. Once again, the winner, Tim Steele. I'm Chris Myers from the Hollywood Hotel. We'll see you tomorrow from Pocono on Fox. Take care.